So, if you're someone who lives in spreadsheets, you've probably hit that wall, right? The spreadsheet ceiling, that point where Google Sheets just can't seem to keep up. The usual fix is to shell out for expensive software. But what if there was a way to give your trusty old spreadsheet superpowers without that hefty price tag? Let's dive in and find out.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to kick things off by talking about that spreadsheet ceiling. Then we'll explore this idea of a capability upgrade that could be a real game changer. We'll peek inside the toolkit, put it through a real-world test, and then we'll crunch the numbers. And finally, we'll get to the final verdict to help you figure out if this is the right move for you.
All right, first up, the spreadsheet ceiling. And this is really all about that super common frustration for anyone who works with data. We've all been there.
I mean, have you ever been there? You're deep into a project, and you just hit a wall. You need some complex automation, a cleaner interface, something more, and Google Sheets just isn't cutting it. That's exactly the feeling we're talking about. This is what our source material calls the spreadsheet ceiling. It's that exact moment where Google Sheets starts to feel clunky, maybe a little ugly, or just plain limited for the really complex stuff you're trying to do. It's the point where you start looking for pricier alternatives. And this really sets up the core dilemma, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got these fancy, polished SaaS tools. Think Rows or Airtable. They look great, have automation built right in, but yikes, that price tag. We're talking $79 a month or even more. On the other hand, there's good old Google Sheets. It's free, we all know it, but it feels, well, limited. The big question is, can it actually do more?
Okay, section 2, a capability upgrade. This is where we start thinking about this problem in a totally different way, challenging that initial assumption that you need a whole new tool.
Yeah, check out this quote because it's really the heart of the whole idea. But what if the problem isn't Google Sheets? What if the problem is just that you haven't unlocked its full potential yet? It kind of flips the script, right? The power might already be there, just hidden. And that's where something called Better Sheets comes into the picture. Now, this isn't some brand new spreadsheet program. Think of it more like a toolkit, a library of scripts, courses, and add-ons, all designed to give your Google Sheets some serious superpowers.
So this idea of a capability upgrade is really crucial. It's not about ditching your old tools and buying something new. It's about leveling up your own skills and boosting the potential of the tools you already have. It's a totally different mindset. All right, let's get into the good stuff. Section 3, inside the toolkit. What do you actually get with this thing? Let's take a look under the hood.
I love this quote because it just nails the vibe. Logging into Better Sheets feels less like opening a software tool and more like walking into a mad scientist's workshop, in a good way. So don't expect a super polished, minimalist interface. Expect a lab packed with powerful, useful stuff.
Okay, so the whole thing is built on 4 main pillars. First, there is the course library. And we're not talking intro to some functions here, we're talking advanced stuff, like building a whole SaaS MVP right inside a spreadsheet. Next, you've got the AI formula helper. This thing is wild. You just describe what you need in plain English, and it spits out the exact formula. Next up, the tools and add-ons. This is like a goldmine of pre-built scripts for automation, connecting to APIs, you name it. And finally, the templates. But these aren't just for copying. They're designed for you to pull apart and see how they tick, so you actually learn something.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty amazing, right? But the real question is, does it actually work? Section 4, the SaaS Replication Challenge. We're putting this toolkit to a real-world test. So, here's the challenge. The goal, create a dynamic sales tracker. We need it to automatically highlight any overdue invoices and calculate a penalty fee. You know, the kind of complex task that usually makes people give up and look for other software. And get this is the exact prompt that was fed to the AI formula generator. It's just plain English. If the date in column D is past today and column E says unpaid, turn the row light red. Also give me a formula for column F that adds 5%. I mean, it's pretty complex, asking for 2 different things at once. So what happened? The AI didn't even flinch. It came back with the exact custom formula for the conditional formatting and that complex nested formula for the penalty fee. Just like that. And here's the best part. The outcome? It worked. On the very first paste. No debugging, no fiddling around. That probably saved a good 30 minutes of trial and error right there. Okay, so we know it's powerful, but now for the big question. What about the money? Section 5, the economics, buy versus build.
Let's really break down the cost and the philosophy behind these two options. First up, let's look at the buy option. A top competitor like Rose, their Pro plan is going to set you back about $948 a year. That's a serious recurring cost.
Now let's compare that to the build approach with Better Sheets. We're talking around $275, one time, for lifetime access. There's a pretty stark difference.
And this table really gets to the heart of it. It's not just about cost. With a tool like Rose, you're paying for convenience and hosting. It's great for teams with a budget who just need something that works now. But with Better Sheets, you're investing in education and assets. It's for the person who wants to truly own their data, build their own tools, and ditch those monthly subscription fees for good.
Okay, it's time to bring it all home. Section 6, the final verdict. When you put it all together, is Better Sheets actually the right call for a Google Sheets power user?
So let's break it down, pros and cons. On the pros side, the cost savings are obviously massive. You get a super powerful script library and those accurate AI tools, all while staying inside the Google ecosystem you already know. But let's be real, there are cons. There's definitely a learning curve. The UI is functional, not flashy, and at the end of the day, you're still working within the limits of Google Sheets itself. Plus, some of the lower tier plans might be missing key features. So really, it all boils down to this one question you have to ask yourself. Are you a spreadsheet user or are you a spreadsheet developer? If you just want something that works out of the box, a polished SaaS tool might be the way to go. But if you're someone who loves to build, to tinker, to create your own solutions, then a capability upgrade like this could completely change the game for you.